off, I'm going to take a Mehron Cream Clown White, and I'm going to use this as the base to mix my other products in, because the other products are more pigmented. So first of all, I don't want a super dark base, but also this will stretch the colored pigment way farther than if I was just to go straight in with the pigment. And I can kind of mix it up, warm it, makes it easier to apply when you don't have to, because if you can see, it's so stiff in here. But once you mix it and you get the color all worked in, then it's a lot smoother and easier to apply and doesn't drag as much on your skin. So you can see this is starting to come together. I'm not sure if you can tell. There's still some streaks in there, so you want to make sure you really mix that well so that when you're applying it, you don't end up with a part of your face that is warmer toned because there was a streak of red in that batch that didn't get mixed in fully. The best way to check to see if you really like the tone is to actually just swatch it on your face and start to work it in and see if it looks right. I actually really like that. Let's see. So I find I experimented a lot when I first started doing this style of makeup of the best way to apply it. And I find just taking my palette and just rubbing it directly on my skin in different spots is the easiest way, and then using my fingers to then blend it over the skin. Brushes just get gunked up with the product because it's so thick, and it makes it impossible to clean your brushes afterwards too. I'm just going to take my finger and start working this in. Now traditionally when I do regular makeup, I like to start with my eyes, but I do find with this that I do like to start with my base just because it's much harder to blend like a concealer or even a white eyeshadow base into the colored skin versus when you're doing it with your natural skin tone, because obviously your natural skin tone exists underneath your foundation and concealer. I'll use a sponge to blend out when I do sort of my concealer or highlighting. And so because we already have the color cream base down, it's going to mix with that and just create a lighter tone for your under eyes. Because especially with makeup like this, you want to add back in that shape and dimension. Otherwise it'll look really flat and kind of more Halloween makeup-y. Pack this on. I always start under the eye, probably just out of habit of powdering under the eye doing beauty makeup. But you're really gonna be generous with this because you really need to dry down all that product that you just put on your face and set into place, because otherwise it will continue to move around and rub off and you will not be able to blend other powders on top of it. camera, so this is almost, it's just a touch darker than our skin tone here, so it's perfect. I know a lot of people were complaining about there not being enough purple in this palette, but honestly, like, I love a monochromatic palette because it does, like, you have all your options there. But if it truly was super monochromatic, it wouldn't be as versatile and you wouldn't be able to get as many interesting looks out of it. And I feel like the purples that aren't in this palette are purples that are in my other palettes that have purples. And like Jeffree said, he didn't want to repeat shades from his past palettes, and there's purples in well, there's one really like bright purple in Alien, and there's a bunch of warm purples in Blood Sugar, of course. As you can see, I got a nice depth with that color. It doesn't look quite so deep in the pan, but as I built it up, it did get darker, which is nice. And I'm going to go in here and I'm really going to start to define where I want the darkness to go, because I do want it to be super smoky and dark. So I'm going to go in with Blood Queen just to start that darker transition. I'm really following the shape of my eye here because I do want that elongated shape, so I do want to stay in really tight here, but I am still just above the crease, barely into it, just kind of tracing that shape. And then instead of going down here where my eye goes down, I'm going to wing out like this. I don't know if you can see that, but and I think I'm gonna go in with Executioner, which this is the shade. When I saw him swatch, I was pretty floored by. I'm gonna start on the outer corner and just kind of press that where I want it. If you're worried about getting fallout, you might want to put some powder down on your cheek, which I might do just because the shade is so dark that if I do get it on my cheek, it can be hard to dust away. So I'm just going to take some of that powder, just lay it down. So I'm going to go back in with that first blending brush, no additional product, and just so gently go over that. I'm going back in with Blood Queen to blend out the edges on that kind of denser I would say this is more of a packing brush, but it does have some, if you work sideways, you can really use it to blend. Yeah, that's helping give me more of what I want than just straight over an executioner. Actually even lightly blending that up into the front of my brow, because we are gonna nose contour and stuff later, and it's gonna look really pretty when it comes together. So now I think I'm gonna go in with my finger and really pack in an executioner, because I do want that purple glitter to come through. And surprisingly, there's like no fallout even though I put that powder down. And then I'm going to go in with Blood Queen and blend that out. I think I'm going to take my bigger blending brush. This one's clean. I'm gonna go over that. Actually, let me pick up a little bit of Vivid Mood. Just go over those edges. I know I'm not saying every step that I'm doing, because I'm really just going back in with those different shadows and just blending until I see what I want. Making sure that I'm keeping my vibrancy. Really liking that. Let's do cheeks. So I really like the tone of Blood Queen more than I thought I would actually. So I'm going to use that as my contour color. I have such a low hairline, I don't contour up here at all. I just contour on the sides to try and give myself a little bit of height in my forehead. So I want to go in with a darker contour color to really chisel out this face, because the eyes are so dark that this isn't really balanced. Okay, so I'm going to go into the shade Dungeon, which is that dark purpley gray, on that same brush. Knock off the excess, and I'm really going to focus it at the back of the contour so that when I blend it, I can blend it out and it's not going to come and be a beard and a mustache. It's just going to stay right where I put it. think I do want to do some jewels all around. So let me grab that stuff. And I think I'm going to do a white highlight under the brow. And since there isn't a pure white in this palette, I'm going to use just another white. Okay, so I put on lashes and just glued some stones to my face using lash glue. And I've decided I just think I'm going to go with just a black lip. Just think it'll be really pretty against the black. So here's the finished look.